Hey guys, my name is Alicia, and if you don't know who I am, I sell vintage clothing online, and every month I make a video talking about what I sold and how much money I made. So today we're going to be talking about what sold for the month of October 2022. So October was super great. I ended up making 47 sales, which is quite a bit for me. Not quite as much as last month, but still really good. 22 of those sales came from a market, 18 sales came from Depop, 7 from Instagram, and actually only 1 on Poshmark. So Poshmark definitely hasn't been performing that great for me recently. I will admit I have been kind of like slacking on there, haven't really been sending out as many offers or sharing my listings quite as much, but I feel like I don't really have to because like I just said, I made 18 sales on Depop. So honestly, I would rather Depop be my main selling platform anyways, so that kind of works out. And then a pretty decent amount of sales on Instagram too, which is always awesome because I don't have to pay any fees there. So let's get into what sold for the month of October. So my very first sale this month was on Depop. It was for this Karen Hart vintage fall patchwork vest. This vest was super cute and I'm really glad it sold, you know, right at the beginning of fall because it is quite a fall item. Ended up selling that for $30 plus $10 shipping. And at the end of the day, after Depop's fees, after shipping and all that, cost of goods, I ended up making $14.95. So really good. Pretty much my like target profit. So I was totally happy with that. Now we're going to be getting into the market. So I ended up doing the thrifted this market, which I vlogged if you want to go watch that, at the very beginning of the month, like literally October 1st. So that was such a great way to start the month and get like a bunch of sales in on the first day. Plus the fact that I didn't have to pay a fee for this market, I feel like my profit margins definitely were a lot bigger than normal markets. So the very first thing I ended up selling was these Northern Reflections green corduroy pants. Ended up selling them for $30. I did have to pay a small fee for my little square payment thing in order to accept payments, but that fee's super small. I did only pay like under $4 for these pants at the thrift store, which is actually mind-blowing, meaning that I made a profit of $25.29 on that pair of pants, which is extremely good, especially for a market. So I was totally happy with that. Next at the market, I sold this Chaps red sweater. I've actually had this in my inventory for so long. I think this sweater's been to like every single market I've done since my first one last year. So I was happy to see it go, sold it for $20. And because this item was just like given to me from a friend who was just getting rid of their clothes, I ended up making $19.47 off of that one sweater, which was amazing. Next, sold my Teddy Trio reworked jacket. I think I sold at least a couple reworked jackets this month, which is always helpful because the margins on them are usually a little bit better than normal. I ended up selling it for $80. The jacket did only cost me $9.69 for all the materials used, which is super good. Usually it's like at least double that. But the reason why it was so cheap is because I actually had some like Poshmark credits that I used to buy the jacket. So that definitely helped a lot. So if you haven't signed up for Poshmark yet, if you use my code, we both get some money. So thank you to anyone who has used my code because it basically paid for that jacket. But anyways, that means I ended up making $70.21 off of that jacket, which is probably the biggest margin I've ever had on my jackets, considering that once again, did not have to pay a market fee. The jacket was super low cost, so that was really good. Next up, sold these Christopher Banks striped jeans. This was a popular item at my last couple markets, so wasn't surprised to see this sell. Ended up selling those for $30, and at the end of the day, I made $20.53. Next, sold this Gusty vintage red raincoat. I've actually been selling this for like quite a while now. This made it through like the entire summer, so I was excited to finally see it sell in fall, which does make sense. Ended up selling it for $35 and made $24.51. Next, sold this Harley Davidson burgundy polo long sleeve, another one that took way longer to sell than I thought it would. I ended up selling it for $25. I think this person paid cash, so did not have to pay any market fee, any square fee, nothing. And the fact that this item was actually just given to me by one of my friends getting rid of their clothes, I actually made 100% profit margin on it. I made $25, which is crazy. That like usually never happens, so that was pretty cool. Next up, sold this Timberland white zip sweater. This is an item that I picked up from a garage sale for only $1, which is really good. But every time I tried to like take pictures of it for Depop, I absolutely hated how it looked on me, and I just never got around to listing it. So I ended up throwing this one in my $5 bin at the market, meaning that at the end of the day, I only made $3.90, which is probably one of my lower margins of the month, but for an item that I was genuinely just like trying to get rid of, I was happy to even make a profit, so that was good. Next up, sold these mega vintage dead stock jeans. Sold those for $30. At the end of the day, I made $17.70. Then sold my Dickies brown pants. These ones were from my personal wardrobe. I was hanging on to them for the longest time, but just like finally realized, for one, I don't know if it was the color, but like I could never seem to figure out how to style them properly. And two, they were like slightly too small, which made them pretty uncomfortable. So I ended up selling those for $30 as well. Because they were from my personal collection, I don't really quite remember how much I paid for them, so I didn't include that, meaning that I made about $29.60. Next up, sold a little bundle of this Blue Canyon Y2K Italy top and this Killa embroidered denim skirt. I think the person asked for a small discount on the bundle, which I was totally happy with, so I ended up selling both of those items for $40. The cost of goods was like super low on these items at only $6.15 for both, meaning that at the end of the day, I made $33.85, so a little bit over $15 per item, which was awesome. Next up, sold this Lori M vintage black velvet fringe dress. This dress was super cool. Sold that for $30. I did pick this up at the Pay by the Pound store, so it was quite cheap, meaning that at the end of the day, I still made $26.36. Next, sold these classic Tommy Hilfiger dark blue flare jeans. Sold them for $40, meaning that at the end of the day, I made $29.26. Next up, sold this Niagara knit vintage racing embroidered sweater. This one never even made it to my Depop, unfortunately, because I didn't get a chance to list it and it sold right away at the market, which was awesome. Ended up selling it for $25. It was super cheap at only $5 at the thrift store, meaning that I made about $19.54 off of it. Next up, sold this Gap blue crew neck, another item that I've had for a little bit of a while, so I was happy to see it finally sell. Sold it for $20. Once again, only $2.70 at the thrift store. I don't know how I pulled that off, but that means at the end of the day, I still made $17.30, which was really good. Next, sold this David Aim vintage color block jacket. This jacket was super cool, so was not surprised to see it sell so quickly. Sold that for $35. It did cost me $15.81 at the thrift store, which is kind of a little more than I usually tend to pay, but just because it was so cool, I thought it was worth it. And at the end of the day, I still made $18.66, so totally good decision. Next, sold these Northern Reflections white mom patch jeans. Sold those for $30 and ended up making $20.87. Next up at the market, I ended up selling this Australia yellow t-shirt. Another item that is from my personal wardrobe, and I just kind of threw in the $5 bin because I really just wanted to get rid of it, meaning that I made about $4.90 off of it. Then another super random $5 item, but it was this pair of Zara brand new with tags jeans. You guys know I'm more into vintage, so Zara does not excite me, so I honestly was just trying to get rid of them. I was trying to sell them on Poshmark for the longest time, and surprisingly, like, no one was interested, even though they're brand new. So someone picked them up for $5 because they were just kind of given to me by a friend. I ended up making $5 off of them, so that was good. Next at the market, I sold this Mod vintage green quarter zip striped sweater. Super cute. Sold that for $20. I did pick this up at the thrift store, but for some reason, because of the way the coupons worked, it technically like made this item free for me, so that's kind of just what I went with, meaning that I ended up making $19.47 off of this sweater. Super good. Next, sold this Carolina Colors vintage pink knit sweater. Sold that for $25, and at the end of the day made $15.45. And then the very last thing I ended up selling at the market were these Rest and Relaxation vintage light wash mom jeans. Sold those for $30, and then at the end of the day I made $21.35, so very good. Like I said, definitely a lot of higher profit margins for this market, so I wonder how this is going to play out for how much I end up making for the whole month, because that definitely helped, although there were a couple of those $5 items too, so it was a little bit polarizing, but it's going to be very interesting to see. Anyways, next up, I made a sale on Instagram. It was for this Idea Nuova vintage cat vest. If you guys watched my thrift with me video where I picked this up, I originally had the intention to turn it into a reworked jacket. I was honestly quite set on that. I even like ended up buying a jacket off of Vinted, like specifically for that vest, but there were so many people in the comments of that video saying that I should definitely just keep it as a vest, and when somebody was interested in buying it, I was like, okay, you know what, it's meant to be for that person, like I'm not going to rework it. So I ended up selling it for $25 plus $15 shipping because this was going to the US. But if you guys didn't know, Canada Post gives away one free package every Tuesday in October every single year. So there was quite a few packages this month where I got completely free shipping on, which was amazing. And this year, what was even cooler is that they were offering one free Canadian package and one free American package every Tuesday. So I definitely took advantage of that as much as I could. For example, with this vest. So the fact that I didn't have to pay any shipping on it really helped, and I ended up making $31.45, which was really, really good for an online sale like that. Then next up on Depop, I ended up selling this Land's End Noah's Ark knit sweater. Another item that I've had for a while and was finally very happy to see it go. I feel like this was the type of item that people love to like see at markets, and their like face would light up and they'd like show their friend like, how cute is this? But like nobody would ever purchase it. I was selling it for like a little bit more expensive than I normally do, just because it was quite like an intricate piece with all these clay beads on it. It was really cool. So when somebody from Belgium was interested in it, I was like, you know what? I don't usually ship internationally, but I'm gonna make an exception here. So ended up selling it for $50 plus $20 shipping because it was an international shipment. Shipping did end up being slightly more expensive than that, and I did end up paying close to $15 for the sweater at the thrift store, which once again is definitely more above my budget usually, but I made an exception just because it was so cool. And at the end of the day, I still ended up making $20.26, so totally happy with that. Then next on Depop, I sold a bundle of these Sgt. Pepper vintage jeans and these Calvin Klein vintage leather detailed jeans. Definitely a lot of jean sales this month. Sold that bundle for $90 plus $10 shipping, and at the end of the day made $43.79, so slightly over $20 per pair of jeans, which was really good. Next on Instagram, I sold this Chow Chow vintage sweater. Loved this item. Ended up selling it for $25 and made about $19.44, which was awesome. Then next on Instagram, sold this Eddie Bauer tan cargo skirt. This was purchased by one of my Instagram followers who I believe is a viewer as well, so thank you. I ended up selling it for $25 plus $15 shipping. This was another item that I got to take advantage of the free shipping Tuesdays, so at the end of the day, I made $38.25, which was really, really good for just a single skirt. Next on Depop, I sold this Gym Master vintage tan quarter zip sweater. Sold that for $30 plus $10 shipping. Another item that I got to ship for free, meaning that at the end of the day, I made $29.45. Next on Instagram, I sold this Shenanigans Scarecrow embroidered cardigan. I sold it for only $20 only because at this point there was only like 2 weeks left until Halloween, and because there was like a pumpkin on this, I was kind of like, I want to make sure this sells soon, because once October's over, I feel like it's not gonna sell. So like I said, sold it for $20 plus $10 shipping. So at the end of the day, I made $14.22, which I was totally happy with. Next on Instagram, sold this Eterel City Stadium vintage sweater. Sold it for $30 just because it was brand new with tags, and ended up making $21.50. Then next on Depop, sold these Jonathan G vintage jeans. I think somebody sent me an offer for them, which I accepted just because these jeans had been sitting for a little while. So ended up selling them for $28 plus $10 shipping. Once again, another free shipping item, which totally helped. Plus I picked up these jeans for only like under $5, which was really good, meaning that I ended up making $27.66. Next on Instagram, I sold these Levi's 501 jeans, brand new with tags. I ended up selling them for $30 plus $10 shipping, and at the end of the day made $19.81. Then another Instagram sale, this time for this LA Blues USA crew neck. Sold that for $25. This was like a local pickup in my area, so did not have to charge or pay for shipping, meaning that I ended up making $19.93 at the end of the day, so super good. Then next on Depop, sold a bundle of 3, which was awesome. Love when that happens. It was for this Hagar red sweater vest. Another item I've had for a long time, glad to get rid of. This truly vintage dark blue floral midi skirt and this Kari patterned sweater vest. Super cute bundle, ended up selling that for about $85 with free shipping. Shipping was actually quite cheap considering it was a bundle, and my cost of goods were super low on this. So ended up making $56.08 for those 3. That's about $18 per item, which is really good. Next on Depop, sold this Route 66 denim pinafore dress. I think this is like the 3rd one I've sold, and then I just listed a 4th, so these have been really great sellers for me whenever I find them. Once again, because it was brand new with tags, I did charge a little extra at $45 plus $10 shipping. Another item I did kind of splurge on at the thrift store at close to $15, but at the end of the day, I still made $18.07, so very happy with that. Next, I ended up selling my Golden Retrievers reworked jacket. You guys have no idea how happy I am to finally sell this, because this is definitely one of the rework jackets I've had for a long time. I think it's coming up to almost a year of having it, which they usually sell a lot quicker than that. So I was so happy that it finally sold. I think the thing with this one is it was just like a little bit of a darker denim, darker pattern, so not the most like popular style, I guess. But I mean, I made it. I obviously think it was cool, but not gonna lie, I was kind of getting tired of looking at it. I was honestly pretty close to like deconstructing it and turning it into something else. But anyways, glad it ended up selling for $95 plus $10 shipping on Depop. Another free shipping Tuesdays item, so that certainly helped. Did cost me $17.93 to make the jacket, but at the end of the day, I still made $73.05, which was super good. Definitely helped that I didn't have to pay for shipping. Then next on Depop sold another bundle of free, which was awesome. It was for this Tommy Girl jeans red striped summer dress. Once again, an item that lasted the whole summer, so I was kind of getting nervous, but finally sold. This Northern Spirit pink floral quarter zip sweater and this Stone Canyon pair of kittens rework jacket. So another rework jacket, which was awesome. Ended up charging $170 for that bundle, free shipping. And at the end of the day, I made $83.59 off of that bundle. So that is about $28 per item. Obviously it's a little skewed because like most of that profit is due to the rework jacket, but either way, very good. Then finally made my first and last Poshmark sale of the month. It was for these Denim Forum black, the Yoko high-rise slim jeans. This is pretty much the only type of item I pick up at the thrift store that isn't vintage, just because I've had such great luck in the past with Denim Forum jeans. They used to sell a lot quicker for me. I mean, this one did take a while to sell. I don't know if it's because we're now just starting to get into jean season, but somebody sent me an offer for $45, which I accepted because like I said, it wasn't showing too much interest. Picked them up for only $9.91 at the thrift store, meaning that I still made $26.09 off of them, so definitely worth the little wait for them to sell. Then next on Depop sold these Seductions Y2K low-rise embroidered flare jeans, super cool. Sold those for $40 plus $10 shipping, and at the end of the day made $23.40, which was great. Then next up sold this Simply Mannequin wool patterned wrap skirt. If you guys watched my closet clean out video from last week, you'll know that I decluttered this item. So just goes to show how quickly it's ended up selling, which was really good. I really like this item. I just didn't really like the way it fit on me. But the customer who bought it is like super excited to receive it, so I'm so glad it's going to a new home. But I ended up selling it for $30 plus $10 shipping. It was pretty expensive at the thrift store for a skirt at $11.85, but because I was intending on keeping it for myself, wasn't totally thinking about cost of goods. But at the end of the day, I still made $11.77, so cannot complain. Then the final sale for the entire month was on Depop, and it was for this Genuine Ethics purple acid wash jeans. Very, very cool. Now, this one is kind of funny because the person sent me an offer for like $20, which I declined because like I'm not gonna make any money off of a $20 offer. And we're kind of going back and forth. So this customer clearly like really wanted these. So I finally settled for a $30 offer, which I definitely regret because I ended up charging $30 plus $10 shipping. Shipping ended up being way more expensive than I thought it was going to be at $19.51. So if I knew it was going to be that expensive, I definitely would not have accepted the offer because at the end of the day, I only made $6.37. So really not a great profit, especially for like such a cool pair of jeans. So I really just need to like trust my gut moving forward because I had a feeling I was like, Alicia, don't accept this offer, but I caved and did it. Especially at the end of the month where I already made like, you know, a good amount of sales. I didn't need any extras to like increase my numbers, you know? So a little disappointing for the last sale of the month, but that was on me. So guys, that is everything that I sold for the month. So as per usual, I'm gonna go ahead, add everything up, and we're gonna see exactly how much money I made, which is going to be very interesting because like I said, I didn't make as many sales as last month, but I sold 3 rework jackets. I didn't have to pay any market fees. I saved a ton on shipping because of all of those free shipping Tuesdays. So our margins were looking really good this month. So I have a good feeling about this. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and calculate everything. All right, guys. So everything is added up. And this month, I actually ended up making $1,066.18, which is freaking mind-blowing. Last month I broke the $1,000 mark for the first time, and I definitely did not think I was going to be able to pull that off again. So I am very, very impressed, very surprised, pleasantly surprised. And as per usual, I like to calculate the average I made per item, which ended up being $22.68. So definitely higher than normal, and definitely what I've been striving closer towards lately, like more of the $20 mark rather than like 10, you know? So I remember saying I was trying to keep that up, and clearly I did. Like I said, I had a lot of little extra help this month, but still counts. I did go ahead and calculate my sell-through rate as well. So I ended up listing 39 items this month and selling 47. So that means I had a sell-through rate of 120%. So that's really good. That means I'm selling more than I'm listing. And this has kind of been a trend for the last couple months and is kind of like telling me that I need to be listing more. But unfortunately, like I try my best to list 10 items every single week, which clearly I pretty much like reached that goal this month. But quite honestly, I don't really have much more time left over to list more than 10 a month. I mean, you know, I have a full-time job during the day. I have to do my YouTube videos, my thrifting, and taking photos and listing takes quite a bit of time. So yeah, I'm just not too sure if I can list any more than that at this point, which is fine because I'm totally happy with the amount that I'm making and selling. Like I'm very satisfied with these numbers, but it also goes to show once again, like, Alicia, I don't need to be accepting these like lower offers. Like we don't need to be doing that. I need to kind of just like stand my ground and, you know that what I'm selling is worth what it's worth, clearly, if I'm selling so much every month. So yeah, I'm super, super happy about that. And it really does make me wonder, like, if I decided to like quit my job and just do this full time, fully commit to it, and let's say I could list like 10 items per day, like realistically, would I still be selling like everything I'm listing? I don't know. Definitely something to think about though. So very excited to see what November brings. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be having any markets booked for November as of yet. We'll see, but the markets have definitely been helping a lot. Like I can't even deny that. So I have been trying to do like one a month, but we'll see for November. I'm not really sure. I also think a huge reason why I made so many Depop sales is definitely due to Sellerator that I've been using recently to help share all of my listings. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll leave it in my link in my description below. But other than that, I don't think there are any like major updates to talk about or anything. As per usual, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. I hope it kind of helped you see what kind of things are selling currently, what you can sell them for. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week.